Hi, my name is Justin. I'm the developer of PurRocket, an iOS space game with cats. And I listen to the One Up Gaming podcast. You can find a link to download my game at facebook.com/PurRocket.
Good at making jokes.
I'll see you guys later.
Yay, we're recording!
Are we?
Yeah.
Yes, we are recording.
Oh, yeah.
I am just getting the screen set up.
He's got a nipped at toilet.
No, I've already nipped to the toilet.
Never heard of that before.
Never heard of the phrase nip to the toilet.
Yeah, it sounds like you're gonna bite it.
I don't want to bite it, but this is the One Up
Well,
Gaming
then why you say
podcast,
you wanna nip it?
episode 160.
Let's fuck that. Let's start it again. Hey guys, this is the One Up Gaming Podcast, episode 160. I am your host, Chris Bowering. Here we have George, and we have a new member of the team, David.
Hi y'all.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't think we got Jesus on just yet.
Fuck you. Jesus fucking Christ.
We can't afford to pay his
Are we
wages.
doing the podcast? Are we redoing this, or is it are we just doing this?
We're rolling. It's
continuing
live. Can't take it back live.
Alright,
There
as
you
the
go.
host of this podcast, I am now passing over control to David. David, fucking make this work.
I wouldn't
He
pass
never makes
anything
it
over
work.
to me.
Yeah, no,
Make it
you
work,
see?
David.
He even says.
Does anyone want to read our sponsor?
No. I think Chris.
Jesus?
Fuck.
Or you with the sandals in the corner, get here.
I think Chris wants to read it this time.
Wow, I don't always read it, George. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Should I deal with it?
Please.
Please do this.
Where's the link? I can't even see the bloody thing.
It's on the script that everyone's got every week.
I didn't get a
have
script.
that.
I didn't get anything.
It's just the exact same link every week.
Yeah, I forget
I don't
it
know where
every
that
week.
is. I don't know where that is.
David,
Where
you
do I go
realize
for
we're
that?
useless. You just need to put the link in the message every
Oh,
time.
my brain's hurting.
This is a great start to the podcast.
Yeah, but now I've got to load up all these other
Oh,
websites.
fucking who? You have to load shit up. What is this, 1982 or fucking 2016?
Oh.
We don't have internet
Oh,
yet
that's-
in the UK.
No, just England, because they left the European Union. They don't have internet.
God, this is taking it a while to load up.
Oh my fuck.
Alright, well, I'll bring it up
It's like
randomly
working
before
with
we
a bunch
go to
of
sponsor.
fucking monkeys.
The topic I was going to bring up before. Did you guys hear about the No Man's Sky suing?
Yes.
No, what's going on with that?
Yeah, No Man's Sky got sued by a television broadcaster that like we have here in New Zealand and I think they have in the UK.
Yep.
Called Sky. And apparently Sky owns the word Sky, so they were
Yep.
like, fuck you, you can't have it in your game name. And then Sean Murray was like a week ago or something, he was like, hey, we won the right to use the word Sky.
Woo!
Like, fuck that. It's like I remember there was some celebrity a while back who tried to like copyright the word swag, and it's like, the fuck, man. Like, people trying to take like normal words, like it's like, nah, I own Chris. Like, if your kid's called Chris, he owes me money for the rest of his life.
Name your kids Turok.
What did they
This
get
week we
by
are
naming
sponsored
the
by
kid
Audible.
Turok?
Want to listen to free and interesting books?
You might have gotten
Audible
a free
30 days trial and join Audible today. You can join your first listen on us for free. Of course, if you don't like your audio, then you can exchange it for another for free. So what are you waiting for? Visit www.audibletrial.com/OUG. Try the Audible 30-day trial now.
So by naming your kid Turok, I believe you got a copy of Turok?
That's not worth it.
Cool, I'm calling
No,
my
it's
kid
not
Final
worth
Fantasy 15 if it's that logic.
Well, no, it was a contest by Iguana, or was it Acclaim? It was one of those two.
By
It
an
was
iguana?
Acclaim.
By a company?
Acclaim was the publisher, so.
Yeah.
Why Iguana? Because Iguana is the developer of Turok?
Yeah.
By an
And
iguana?
they also, you're not funny.
I'm trying to
Also,
make that joke.
they made, yeah,
Who
they
did?
made
Iguana?
the shitty South Park games, so.
There's nothing wrong
Oh,
with South
Iguana.
Park Rally.
I was
Yeah,
actually
other than
thinking
that
of the South Park first-person shooter game.
Where you could piss in
All the
snow
powder.
and chuck yellow snow at people.
Yeah,
That was funny.
it was
About
really bad.
5 seconds.
5 seconds, yeah.
It's the One Up Gaming Podcast, hosted by David, Sean, and Zach.
Well, One Up Gaming, episode 160.
Were you restarting
Yeah,
your podcast?
Yeah, you've said the title again. I mean, what do you want?
I'm trying to bring it a little bit
One Up
back on
Gaming
track.
160. One Up Gaming 160.
Yeah, we're not doing well. Like, the last couple of weeks we had, like, some structure. This is...
Dude, you
We- we
guys had
solved the
some
problem.
structure? Why is it every time I come on, there's no structure?
I think you need to tell us, George.
Yeah, it might have something to do with you, George.
Wow, fuck you.
The only problem with recording our pictures, it's only got George and Chris as a picture, it doesn't have me as a picture.
That's right, nobody wants to see you anyway.
I know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't get it. Why is it so hard on Skype for us to all see each other's picture?
I think you could do that with, like, full screen or something?
I'm in full screen.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
Maybe you could
chat.
click on your image? I don't know.
Dynamic full screen? No.
'Cause I bet
Yeah.
you guys can only see, like, me and the other one of yous, you can't see yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to
My
find
video will pop up if I put my webcam on, but that defeats the object of having little cartoon characters of each other.
This is
David?
riveting conversation for a podcast.
You need to invest more time in solving this issue, David.
So, Chris, I really want to know, what games have you been playing recently?
Oh wow, some structure. Thank you, George. I've been playing. Hold on. What was I playing last week, David? What did I
I don't
talk
know.
about? That's why I said David.
I know you said Digimon you're done with.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
you
fucking
finished?
hate
You
it.
finished it?
I,
Oh,
no,
you
I
hate
didn't
it?
finish.
Oh,
Okay, I'll just give you a brief run through. No, here's the thing. I was enjoying it. I was having a good old fucking time. And then I hit a point, right? And I was like, I got a couple new games, and I was like, oh, you know, I might be ready to move on to something else soon. And I was like, I looked at how long I'd been playing the game. I'd been playing for 26 hours.
Okay.
I wasn't even 50% of the way through. Like, I wasn't even
Damn.
halfway in the main story.
Holy shit.
I wasn't even halfway in the main story. I was like, there was like, I looked up online. It was like, because I was at chapter 9, and I was like, oh shit, like, there must be like 11, 12 chapters maybe. It's like 20
52.
chapters.
Wow.
I was like, holy shit. And the thing is, like,
Wow.
it just got to a point where it was like my brother enlightened me. Because he comes into the room and he's like, I'll watch you play for a bit. I was like, fuck sure. And he comes in and he sits next to me, and he sits with me for like half an hour, 45 minutes. And he turns to me at the end and he goes, why the fuck are you playing this, Chris? And I went, I don't know, man. Like, it's Digimon. Like, it's cool, man. You know, you saw I evolved a couple of them, man. It's sick. And he's like, no, you fucking didn't, dude. In the 45 minutes I've sat here, you've done one mission where your character literally walked around to different restaurants and tried different fucking dishes. And all I've seen, they haven't even had any fucking dialogue. There's just text box on the screen being like, yes, yum. The rice in this one is sweet, but in the other it is too hard. You've done that for 45 minutes, Chris. Why the fuck are you playing this game? And I looked at him and I did not know how to fucking respond. I was like, yeah, I have just read text boxes for 45 minutes over them describing dishes in a fictional food court to me.
See, the thing is, like, I haven't quit that game, but like, I just dropped playing it right now because, like, I mean, first of all, new things are out. Like,
Yeah.
Star Ocean's out. You know, God Eater Resurrection's out. So, like, playing Digimon, not right now.
I don't know.
I'll
Hey,
go on
maybe
to
I'll
the-
go back and find out what was the best rice dish and then get a Wargreymon, you know, but I was just like, I've
Dude,
got other
dude.
shit to play.
I don't know, like, it's so simplistic in, like, the turn-based combat, but it's like, this is like the game that I wanted when I was a kid.
I know, and that's like the tough mixture, because it's like, this is a game I've always wanted, like a Pokemon-style game with Digimon characters.
Right.
But like, in Pokemon, it's like, or, you know, in turn-based RPGs, it's like, I could lose. Like, I had to implement some strategy or I would lose. I literally tested it out. I got through 3 hours of the game having set the game to autoplay.
Wow.
Like, I set it to autoplay and the game just ran itself.
Jesus. Anyway,
So-
what have you been
So
playing
anyway,
this?
so I moved on from that. I told David
Yeah.
last week I played and beat Ratchet and Clank the remake last week, which I thought was
How was
pretty
that?
sick.
Okay.
It was good. It was.
I was thinking of getting
was
it.
really cool. It was really cool in the sense of, like, it's got all these levels from the original game that are like fully remastered and these beautiful graphics, and it's like so nostalgic to be like, wow, like I played this level in a shittier version like 10 years ago. Like, it's what you want when like they say the word remaster. It's what you like this is what I want. But
Well,
then
it's not a
they
remaster. They changed some stuff.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, when you hear the
It's
name
a remake.
remaster, when you hear that they're remastering a game, like, you hope that the graphics will look this great, and it's not. It's just up-resed kind of the same models. But this is like the full
Yeah.
remade graphics. It looks fantastic. But then they change up the narrative like enough that I'm like, oh, this was a completely different story. Like, this is a completely different retake on the original narrative. So it's not like I was like, and then this happens and this happens. I was like, oh shit, no, that happens. Now that happens. So it was cool. It was like a really good balance between nostalgic and then its own thing.
Yeah,
So-
I wanted to get it, so maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, no, it's good. If you liked Ratchet and Clank in the past, it's a definite buy. If you didn't, then it's probably not for you because it's more of the same.
So the thing is, like, when I was a kid, I got Ratchet and Clank, but I never played it that much.
Yeah.
And since I'm a PS2 game collector, I have a good amount of Ratchet and Clank games, but I have not played them yet.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it still interested me.
Yeah.
See
So no,
what
so I
do
played
with
that. Moved on to Unravel.
Did you?
played
Okay,
that.
so before you really get into this, do you know of the Twitter account that's supposed to be a parody of Peter Molyneux? It's called Peter Molyneux.
No.
Yes.
Okay,
I've heard
so
of it.
yeah, so that's a Twitter account, and it's a parody of Peter Molyneux, as I said, and it's just like him bringing up really crazy ideas for games. And there is a tweet that he put, and it said, "Wow, you guys weren't kidding when you said the game gets really depressing at the beginning," and it was a picture of a screen that said Electronic Arts. I was like, that's pretty good. Anyway, yeah. What's up with that game?
Nothing.
Tell me about the game, please.
It's really, really okay. Like,
Okay, it's
it is not
really okay.
like, it's not a bad game at all. It's a decent game,
Okay.
but it falls short
Is
in like
there
so many ways.
story or
That's my biggest hang up on it. So there's like an opening cinematic which was really confusing. So there's like this old lady, She's like staring at like photos. She's looking nostalgic. Then she like looks like she's like she has like this moment. Like she looks like she just fucking realized something. So she heads upstairs, picks up a basket full of yarn, and then one of the balls of yarn falls out. And then next thing it like cuts, and you've got the Yarny character, and he's like climbing on a table and like staring at photos. So I'm like, okay, is he like imaginary? Is he like real? Like what is he? Like I just saw a ball of yarn roll out. Yeah, and then next thing it's this random figure. And then you just play the game. You walk through this old lady's house and look at photo frames, and then you like zoom into the photo frame, and then you're there, you're in it, and you're like running along these like mundane environments. And they're like the environments are really cool. Like it's one of the prettiest games I've seen.
That sounds
with like
interesting. Somewhat.
Yeah, like running through like a hayfield. You'd be like, cool, yeah, I've done this a million times as like a human, but as this little tiny like toy. It's actually really cool, and it looks stunning. So, but you go through and like there are these little story snippets of like there's like glittering people in the background, and there's no sound or dialogue. You just see these glittering like people in the distance.
Are they vampires?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
So no, and you see them, and like every time I would see them, like I'd like be like, okay, well there are people over there. I don't know what the fuck they're doing though, or who they are. Like I couldn't distinguish who they are as people. So I just run through, and then I get to the end of the level, find like a fish made of yarn, and be like, oh sick. And then I'd be teleported back to the old lady's house, and I'd like put the fish made of yarn on top of a book.
Okay.
Do you understand the narrative at this point?
Collect things.
Yeah. So then it gets to the
That's
fucking end of the game, and it's just
disappointing.
this the whole way through, and I'm like, I don't understand the story. What is actually happening?
So
did
you finish this game?
Yeah, I beat it.
How long did it take?
Maybe, I mean, I'm not great at puzzle games, so I think it took me like 5 hours.
Okay.
So, I mean, I got to the end, but here's the thing. At the end, you realize, like, because I was like, oh, he's staring at these pictures, and then it's zooming in, and then I'm there. So are these memories? Like, is this the memory of when I was there? Well,
This
it's
is
not.
supposed
He's
to be
actually-
her deceased husband.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, but it's actually him going back to the location and finding these yarn-shaped things that they left there, and then returning them to the house. So like that's my big hang up on the game is I had no idea narratively what was going on the entire game, and then at the very end of the game they fucking explain it. And I was like, oh, I probably would have cared a lot if I knew that this was the story while I was playing, but I didn't. I didn't understand it at all.
What was the story?
The story, I think, was like, this is the grandparents' home, and it's like how the kids used to come over, and like they would have all these adventures in the fields and in the forests with their grandparents, and then this big corporation came in and started digging up the forests and turning them all into like industrial sites. And so the kids had to move away, and the grandparents missed them, and the kids would come back occasionally to see the grandparents, and then eventually the grandfather dies, and like they come back to see him, one last time, at his funeral at the home.
Right.
And I was like, and then they told that at the end through like a storybook with like pictures and then a bit of like writing. And I was like, and then I realized I was like, oh, Yarny is like basically Woody from Toy Story, but in a video game. Like, he's a toy that just comes to life. But it's like,
Right.
I was like, oh, that actually, and the way they did it at the end, I was like, oh, that actually is like a touching story. I wish I fucking knew that was the story when I was playing the game, though. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, and then gameplay-wise, like, it felt very limbo-y, like, with the weight of the character, like, you're not floaty like Mario, like, you feel weighted. I didn't feel like it was clunky. I thought the gameplay was actually good. It was solid, but it didn't do anything that made me go, oh, holy shit. But it was a solid game, like, it was fun.
David, are you looking at Zencaster right now?
No.
I don't see any waves going up for Chris in his recording.
I've no idea.
Because you'll see mine and you'll see yours when you talk, and
I
Chris
don't
is
see yours.
there's like nothing. You don't see mine?
No, I don't see anyone's apart from my own.
I don't see
Okay.
anyone's moving on the Zencaster.
Okay, well, never mind then. Continue.
When you talk,
So
Chris,
no-
do you see yours at the
No,
top?
I don't
Yeah,
see
but I
mine
also
I don't see
I also
mine going
see
up.
yours.
You don't see yours going up.
Oh,
I don't see anyone's going up when anyone talks.
What about you?
I see mine
But
and yours, David.
No, I
But
only.
it says recording in process for all three of us.
I don't know. Hopefully
well.
hopefully your recording isn't gone, isn't silent.
It's fine. We'll work something out.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, have you been playing anything else?
Yeah, so that brings me finally to the game I'm actually playing right now, which is Just Cause
You're
3.
playing it right now?
Yep, right now as we speak. I'm playing Just Cause 3.
Also, you're a great multitasker.
Oh no, I'm quite amazing. Thank you, George, for noticing.
Yeah. So how you liking Just Cause 3? I like it, but it's really weird with the PC stuff.
It is the best broken game I've ever played.
It's okay. So what do you mean by broken?
So the game is incredibly fun in like the using the tethers, using explosives to create detonations, like the destruction in the world is
Right,
it's just awesome. It's so fun to play, you know. I think there
Yeah.
are two types of games in the world. There are the ones that you play to have that succinct narrative experience, and the ones that you play just to fuck shit up and have fun.
Right, which
And-
is just Cause 3 is the latter.
Yeah, and Just Cause 3 is a masterpiece and just fucking shit up for the hell of it. It is so broken though, in the sense that I heard the reviews that on consoles it had very bad performance issues. So I was like, cool, I'll wait a bit. It came out December last year. I was like, yeah, I'll wait, see how it goes.
Also,
Picked it up on
loading times are very bad.
Oh god, yeah. So I picked it up on PS4 recently, and it still runs so shitty. Like the frame rate when you're driving a car, like 80% of the time, like drops below 20 frames per second.
See, it's just like it's tough because this game was made for PC, and then they took the port and ported it to machines that were well underpowered for this.
I know, but that's
and-
the problem. It's
like you see
keep it on
the.
PC.
I guess I don't know, but like, look at what happened with Fallout 4. It's like somewhat similar.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, and the thing is, they made it for consoles. I believe they make Fallout 4 for consoles. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like that version's worse. It's so shitty.
Like I say, I'm torn because the frame rate like drops just ridiculously. Usually when I go in the boat, like the effects like become choppy and it just looks like jagged lines around the boat when I'm driving. There's some texture popping, and the loading is the worst. Like, you know, like when you're doing like wingsuit challenges, it's very easy to die, and you'll die. And I've been in a loading screen that lasted 3 minutes after a death before I was loaded back in.
Wow, that is. Oh my god.
3 minutes just sitting there, like that was the longest, and they're usually on average, like I wouldn't get one shorter than 30 to 45 seconds.
Which is still a decent amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, and that's at the quickest. So, I mean, that's the problem. Like, I'm torn because I'm like, this game, as a game, runs
It's
fucking terrible.
Not a
Like,
good
it doesn't
console
run.
game, but it's a good PC game.
No, it's not.
You know.
But I am still having an absolute blast playing it, despite all of those issues.
No pun intended.
Like, oh yeah, like it's such a fun game, and the story is absolute horseshit. Like, it fucking doesn't make sense, and it's dumb.
Well, they're
and
taking back
dialogue
the
is terrible.
country.
Yeah, it's just shit, but it doesn't like that. It's an action movie, like action movies.
But that's the
have
point.
crap.
They don't care about the story,
Exactly.
really.
Exactly, and so like my point being, like, I was really surprised because all the shit that I do care about, like narrative and my game fucking running, aren't there, and yet I still love this game because it's that fun to play.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
See,
I
the
mean,
problem
that's
I
not-
have is, the problem I have with just cause the reason you have to unlock your stuff, and a lot of the mini games aren't too great, at least from how I feel. It's like the one to like strengthen your winch or whatever, like you have to drag rocks into a pit or whatever. What?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I get it.
just give me the stuff. Like
I get it
just
in
give
some
me all the
respects, like,
mods.
the for some of them, like the driving ones and the flying stuff, like it's encouraging you to do these side shit to keep you playing the game, and I get that, and I don't think they're super boring. I think they're fine. And
Yeah,
but I like that
the
it's
problem
like,
is like I can't winch something to something else and have it pull and like fall apart, which is part of the game, because like I didn't do the mini game, or I couldn't find the mini game to get like mod parts for the winch. Like, it's a little ridiculous.
yeah, no, see, I get that, because I mean, like when it comes to the grenades and the driving mechanics, like adding turbo and stuff,
I
think
understand
that's
like
fine.
having to unlock vehicle mods. That's
yeah,
fine.
I get that, because I
But like
find,
unlocking
that,
mods for important parts
Yeah,
of your armory, like
No,
what?
that's the one thing that I agree with the mods, like the tether. Because the tether, I'm like, I want to just straight off the bat be able to just attach shit to each other and have it just smack into each other.
Yeah,
high
like
speed.
I have to rely on like explosives and stuff to like pull down statues, when I could just, if my winch was upgraded, like I would have been able to just like attach one to like the leg and attach it to like the street or something and have it pull and just have it fall down.
Yeah. And since that's like a pinnacle of the gameplay, like I'm happy to unlock the different grenade mods and stuff, because I'm like, oh, it's changing up how I use grenades. Like it's making me change up how I play as the game goes. But the tether mods are literally just like, get more tethers, have them work better. And it's like, well, I'd just like to start off the game with my tethers working better.
Yeah, especially
Like-
when the mini game is fucking bullshit in the first place.
Yeah, like as I say, like I mean, yeah, that's probably one of the downers. Like I've
If
tried
it was
to,
something
I'm
like attach as many people to each other as you can, as quickly as you can, or
circle or something, and, yeah.
yeah, or something where it's like do melee attacks with the whip or the winch whip, whatever, like
Adding something
like
different
that.
rather
Like
than they
sure,
Yeah.
but like
Well,
this
because
mini
you're adding
game
something
is pointless.
But it's like those mods, like the grenade mods and the car mods, they're adding something different that you didn't have before. Whereas the tether mods are just make your tether actually work better. And then it's like, well,
You should have just had it
Yeah.
in the first place.
yeah, like as I said, I attach two like power line things together, and then like you're like expecting them to fly at each other, and then you just watch slowly as they like slowly go, and then they like touch
Yeah,
a little
it's
bit, and then
really
they blow.
disappointing. Yeah, it's.
But no, I mean, yeah. Bottom line to finish it off, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's fucking cool.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I like how you can get mines that you can put, and then they have thrusters on them. That's pretty
Yeah, that's
insane.
cool.
David, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing 3 games, but I'll just mention 2 of them because they're both shockingly bad for
I'm not surprised.
this day and age.
For this day and age, okay.
Yeah, you don't normally get games that are just okay.
So the thing, before you do this, I want to get into this for a second. A lot of people will call games shit, but it's like, when was the last time you played a game that was so bad that you would literally call it shit? Because like even games that I played that aren't so great are still games, and they're playable and they're not too bad. And I think people, like, the bar for people have just raised so high where, like, mediocre games or whatever are considered shit now.
These are below mediocre.
Okay.
So the first one is Mighty Number 9.
Okay, I heard a lot about this. Ooh.
And a sentence in my review that I did was basically, I've played games for £2 on a mobile phone that looked and played better.
Okay, I have to ask you, have you played Mega Man before?
Yes.
Do you like Mega Man?
I love Mega Man. This is not a Mega Man game.
Okay.
It's nothing
All right.
like Mega Man.
That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know from
Right.
you. Because I know.
Well, Mega Man, the
there are
first
some
one's not
games that
very,
you
not
don't-
very good, but on 2,
Yeah.
3 changed a bit, and yeah, they're better.
So you have popular opinion then.
What?
A lot of people say that 2 and 3 are the best.
Well, they're basically, the first one was, they changed it up completely for the second onwards.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could play 2, 3, 4, whatever. They'd all be very similar to me.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I heard a lot about Mighty Number 9 not being so great.
Because like the worst thing for me is just, now I'm not a graphics person, but
Yeah.
when the background has got no detail whatsoever,
Oh, what?
and everything looks, do you know when you see games that are like, do you know that Nintendo 64 thing where when you run them on an emulator, it gets rid of that fog? So things look
all the
weird
muddiness.
and out of place.
Yeah, because it looks so clean.
Yeah, that's what this looks like.
Oh, okay.
You know, it looks as though
But it
maybe
doesn't have
should
the
had-
charm of it.
Yeah, it's got no charm whatsoever. The voice acting, oh my god, it's the worst
Wait,
I
there's
have
voice
ever
acting?
heard. Yes.
There's voice acting? Oh my god.
It is the worst I have ever heard. It is such a substandard game. I cannot believe how... Now, I will say the game plays nice. The
Okay.
character moves well, it's fast, there's no slowdown. It's just the fact it looks horrendous. And the game itself, it's a one-trick sort of pony. There's no skill involved. I mean, you have a button that does like an air dash. So if you are in the air, you can just press the button, and you'll like dash, but you don't fall as you're doing it. So as you're doing,
So the
platform,
point is just to keep pressing the dash button.
yeah. So on certain levels where you have to jump between trains and whatnot, you can just press the button repeatedly until you see a platform under you and just let go of the button and just drop. There's no
Correct.
skill involved whatsoever. So yeah, I was very disappointed in that game. And the next game is a game that I was looking forward to so much. It's a game that I've actually bought, and I don't say that often. I pre-ordered it about 6 months
Getting
ago,
something not for free, what?
and it's Dino Dini's Kickoff Revival.
What the fuck is this?
Now, back in the late 80s, early 90s, I used to play what you'd call a soccer game, a football game, called Kickoff.
On your microcomputer?
No, it was on the Mega Drive. Sorry, the Genesis.
Oh, okay.
But like, I used to play this game so much, it was so good. And, I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but this is
Shit.
technically a remake of the original Kickoff in 3D. But
I don't even know what that means.
a game that was made in 89, it plays identically just about.
7 years before I was born.
So games have changed and evolved so much. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is the graphics look bad. On the pitch, when the camera changes, you can't change the camera angle, but like when your players are coming off the pitch, the camera will like zoom round the pitch, and you'll see buildings behind in the background, and they look like Lego blocks. Yeah, literally
I
like
Lego
Minecraft,
blocks.
you know, just like no textures whatsoever, just like bricks in the background.
But does it look like a
Minecraft-
stylistic choice or just laziness?
It just looks as though they ran out of time and didn't finish the game.
Yeah, it sounds like laziness or something like that.
Well, I won't say laziness. Allegedly,
Just like
it's
a
Loss
polish.
of time.
it's
not enough
one
time?
guy
Yeah.
that made the game,
Okay.
and it looks as though they wanted to get the game out for this Euro Championships, because in the Euro Championships there's only 32 teams in the tournament. This game only has 32 teams, and you can only play the Euro Championships. You know, there's no league, there's no other tournaments, it's just that one tournament. There's no subs, you can't, you know, so if you're someone that you want to bring on, there's no other players, it's only the 11 to start, that is it. I mean, seriously guys, if you were just to Google Dino Dini's Kickoff Revival, I'm torn because I loved the franchise when I was a kid. So there is bits in it that play well. But it's not a complete game. You know, it's...
Right.
I mean, there was a bit in it where I had a penalty. So I went to take the penalty kick. I shot towards the goal. The full-time whistle went just before the ball crossed the line. I scored the goal. The character ran off celebrating. But because the final whistle had gone, it didn't count the goal. You know, so there's just little bits and bobs that are just weird as hell. And it's only like a one-button control game. So, like, in this day and age, you know, where people are used to, you know, like, cross, run, shoot, this just has one button, and it's tap it for pass, hold it for shoot.
Oh, so this could be a Master System game.
Technically, I mean, it was basically a one-button game because it originally came out on like home computers where they just had the one button.
Right.
But yes, I was very disappointed in that. So I think that'll do for me bad-mouthing games.
Yeah, no, you filled the quota for this episode. Moving on to me, I haven't played too much recently because I've been busy, but what I have played, I played a bit of Fallout 4, finally started doing the Far Harbor DLC. As somebody who does not like any kind of aquatic life, really, this may not be the best DLC for me to play.
Well, are you scared of aquatic life?
Like, some of it? So, like, if you mutate, like, aquatic life, then yeah, it's gonna just be, like, super fucking creepy and shit for me. It's like, no thank you. So, like, I encountered a lot of Mirelurks and Mirelurk Kings and new things called... What are they called? They're like anglerfish, but they're mutated to have like a humanoid body that's like fucking buff. And it's like, yeah, no thank you. Yeah, I know exactly, right? And I'm sure there's other stuff that I haven't encountered. I'm still playing through it though because I find it interesting. I was wishing to leave the island because there was stuff I wanted to do mod-wise, and that's on the main game land. But I can't fast travel because my weight limit has been exceeded by quite a bit. So I'm forcing myself to just go to waypoints of things that I have to do, which are somewhat nearby, which is fun because I'm running, or not running, but I'm walking, and I have the whole thing where you can walk with, it'll drain your AP if you're over encumbered, but you're still able to quote unquote run or whatever. So that's fun. That's fun. And fighting off super mutants, and I didn't play too much of it, but what I've played, it's an interesting story to it, and I've only been really doing side stuff for that, so I can't really say much about the main story there. And Star Ocean came in as of this recording yesterday for me, so I only played about an hour or a little bit of that, and to be honest, I like it. It's just Star Ocean, but with I don't even think the mechanics are really that different from any other Star Ocean, unless maybe like the earlier ones. But it's a game. I don't know. I like it so far. I don't really have much to say because I'm not that far, but what they've done with it seems really interesting to me at this point. And I played some God Eater Resurrection. I believe that was on a handheld, I think like Vita or something before It came out for the PS4 as the Resurrection version. I think that's right. But that's interesting. That's kind of like... it seems like it's Monster Hunter combined with Freedom Wars. Even though Freedom Wars was like a game combined with Monster Hunter, so I don't know how that works. But it seems like Freedom Wars, but in a different setting, and it has some different mechanics, and the controls work a little bit differently. But all in all, it's, you know, there's stamina, there's points that you can use for bullets, and I'm not too far in that game, but you can collect resources and buy, upgrade, or create like new weapons and gear and stuff like that. And people are apparently shooting off fireworks already, even though it's raining outside. I don't know what that was. That wasn't a gunshot. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I just thought you hit the table.
No. Somebody shot something outside or something. Like fireworks, or I don't know. It's raining, so why would you do fireworks?
What would you say? It's raining men?
Hallelujah. Anyway. I'm trying to think of what else I've been playing, but I don't think I've really been playing much. I played some stuff on my tablet. I think it's called Gun Club 3. You shoot things and you get money, and then you buy things for your gun and you buy new guns. That's all I have to say, really. So that's basically I mean, I played like a game on my Dreamcast for about an hour, but it's not too interesting.
I played a Dreamcast game.
Oh yeah, what'd you play?
Mr. Driller.
Okay, I never played Mr. Driller. How is it?
It was actually not too bad. It's just like is it Boulder Dash or whatever?
Boulder Dash? What?
Okay, it's probably just an English.
Like the board game?
No, there's actually a proper full game where you like dig down and stuff.
Oh, I thought Mr. Driller was like it either it inspired or was inspired by Dig Dug or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's the sequel. I think you play as Dig Dug or Doug whatever's son.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I thought there was some connection there.
But yeah, I played that on the Eagle box. I downloaded it and played it on in there for a bit.
Oh, shameless plug for the Eagle box.
Yeah. Buy it now from our
good.
website from £60. Or go to other websites where it's £80, so cheapest in the UK.
That's kind of heavy.
But yeah, I've got a 128 gig memory card, and I've got like over 100 PS1 games on it.
Yeah, see, like I don't know, I like buying some PS1 games and stuff like.
Yeah,
I'm not too crazy about emulating 3D games.
The problem
I'd rather
is
play them on actual hardware.
I can't be asked to travel 300 miles down to my parents' house to pick up all my consoles to come all the way back home.
Well, no, that's understandable.
And then in a couple of years' time, I'll have to move it all back down south. So to me, it's yeah, my girlfriend's at university, so when she completes that, we'll be moving back down to England.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, I just think for me, it's the perfect thing. A tiny little 2-inch box, you know, and just dump all the games I want to play, all my Ridge Races and everything, and just sit and play on that.
Yeah. No, for me, like, for 3D games, I prefer the original hardware.
Yeah, I've got like 800 Mega Drive games, 800 SNES games on it. 2,000 arcade games.
So, like, if I like the game for that platform, I will buy it. But, like, most of the time, like, yeah, it's like, whatever. Yeah, I was thinking of getting, like, an EverDrive for, like, the N64, because I'm not paying that much money for those games. That's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
then
there's that Dreamcast thing that you could do with you can unplug the CD drive, or I'm sorry, the GD-ROM drive, and like plug in some other thing that you can load an SD card into and have games on there, and
Yeah, but it's easy just to download the ROMs and put them onto a disc.
Well, the thing is, when you put it on a disc, a CD doesn't hold as much as a GD-ROM, and a CD is thicker, so you'll actually kill the laser by having it read a CD.
I've got plenty of Dreamcasts, it's fine.
Well, you're part of the problem, not the solution. Yeah, seriously, don't do that, because that's how you kill it, and we are running out of Dreamcasts as it is.
I think I've got about 8.
I have 2? You have 8 Dreamcasts?
I've never seen a Dreamcast.
What?
I've
Oh,
never
that's
seen
right.
One.
You're the guy who doesn't like graphics that are older than PS3 graphics or something.
Fuck off! I started with a PS2, man.
I technically started with an NES and a Genesis. So.
And there's just I've never seen them because you don't see retro gaming consoles just lying around or retro games lying around New Zealand. You know.
I didn't know that.
You can't even find PS1 games anymore. Unless you
Really?
go really, you can't unless you go really searching for them on online sites. There aren't any stores that sell anything older than PS2, and even PS2 is now hard to find.
See, over here, it's just you can find NES, Genesis, PlayStation 2, N64. You can find everything but Master System games. There's one store I know of that's all the way it's almost an hour. It's probably an hour drive away from me. That will have a few Master System games. Maybe one is in the box, and that's it. And the rest, the rest 3 or whatever, loose. But other than that, PS1 games are easy to find. PS2 games, NES games, obviously.
No, there's no culture for it here.
That's weird.
The gaming culture in New Zealand is very small. I think there's maybe 2 websites in New Zealand that report on video games that are, and it's hard to find anything kind of retro. So that's why I say I started with the PS2. I knew people who had the PS1 and the original Xbox. I've never known anyone who's had anything older than that.
Damn, that's an interesting thought for me. That's a little hard to process, to be honest.
Yes, that's why it's not I'm oh fuck the graphics. It's no, it's just not available.
No, I was kidding. No.
I'm just saying that's the thing. It's it's kind of EB Games is the only gaming shops around, so you can only get what's current and new.
Okay, yeah.
I tell you, Chris, you should buy one of these Eagle boxes, and I'll send you a memory card with 2,000 games on it.
Hey, Chris, did you hear that? David wants to give you an Eagle box straight from our website.
Hey, we sold 2 today.
Load up your favorite games onto an SD card. Well, what are the other selling points so I could yell them into the listeners' ears? Well,
he plays games.
All right. Well, if we're finished with that, do we have any news here?
Got a couple of small-ish news stories.
And now it's this week's news with One Up Gaming.
Is there anything about the 3D NES emulator?
Nope.
Okay, well, there's a 3D NES emulator that was released, and... Oh, where can you find it? I'm trying to remember now.
While you're trying to remember, I will tell you what it's capable of running. Spectrum, TurboGrafx, Atari, Neo Geo, Jaguar, Amiga, Dreamcast, PlayStation, Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Game Boy, Mega CD, Sega Game Gear, 32X, Mega Drive, Master System, and the original NES.
I'm sure if you just look up 3D NES emulator, you'll find it.
Hold on. So here's my thing. Was that the Eagle
I don't
Box
want to see
you're
your thing.
Yeah, that's the Eagle
Was
Box.
that the
Sorry.
Eagle Box? So can I play Pokemon on the Eagle Box?
Yes.
Well, then that's pretty cool. So
It
anyone who
even
wants to
does
play
3DS
Pokemon,
not 3DS, DS games, so you can play like the DS Pokemon games as well.
that's pretty
It
cool.
looks like Chris is going to buy an Eagle Box. Eagle
And
Box,
if I
brought
want-
to you
and-
by
While I'm gaming.
Chris.
Chris. Alright, yeah. God damn it.
Have you got this emulator story yet? Or
No, I don't. There's literally
Alright,
story
in
is
other
there's
news,
a
and in other
the
in
story
other-
is
in
literally
other-
there's a
in-
3D and
in
an
other
NES
news.
emulator out there. That's the news is that there's a 3D NES emulator out there.
In other news,
There's a 3D NES emulator out there.
in
Hey David, did you hear this? There's a 3D NES emulator out
there's
there.
two problems I see with that.
Right.
One, 3DS is a gimmick and a fad. No, sorry, 3D is a gimmick and a fad. And two, the NES was pretty rubbish.
in other news,
This is coming from a person who grew up in England without having anything related to Nintendo.
Hey, I knew someone that had an NES. I played Super Mario Brothers. It was a great game. That might have been the only game I played at the time, but you know.
His opinion does not count, Chris. Just remember that.
in other news,
Sorry, Chris, go on.
fucking hell. So Batman's not
In
coming
other
out.
news,
Batman Arkham Collection.
Yeah, the Batman Arkham Collection has been delayed indefinitely. So there's no
Wow.
new release date. It's just not coming for a while. It looks like, if they can't
Wow.
even put a date on it. And a lot of people, like, the idea has been gestating that this is from the comparison videos that came out showing the original game and the new version of the game for PS4 and Xbox One, and the majority of people actually thinking the original game looks better than the remaster.
I heard this. Yes,
And from someone who did see it, it actually, the original game looks significantly better than what they were going to put out.
Especially the beards. The facial hair on the new one looked atrocious.
okay.
So no, I mean, it looked really bad, and there are also rumors going around that maybe they heard a lot of the criticism saying, fuck you guys, you know, why isn't Arkham Origins in there just because it was made by a different studio? It's still part of the trilogy, it's
That's
still part of the quadrilogy.
Probably why. Quadrilogy?
Yeah, it's a word. It's a word.
Quadrilogy is a word?
Yeah, you can buy the
Oh.
Aliens Quadrilogy box set, or you could do when there was four
Okay.
of them.
I never heard of it called quadrilogy, but alright.
Yeah, so the four games. You know, everyone sees it as the four Batman games. No one goes like other than Rocksteady, no one goes Arkham Origins isn't a real Arkham game.
Well,
It's just-
Warner Brothers doesn't see it as a...
Well, you know,
Yeah, but
I think
then again,
does.
Warner
I think
Brothers also fucked up a lot of shit, so.
I don't know. I thought it was a good game. It didn't blow me away as much as the other Arkham games, but it was good. So
I haven't played it yet, so.
I was a part of the group who was disappointed that they decided not to put it in there.
Actually, I don't even
So,
think
yeah,
I own
so-
that game.
I think I got it for free on PlayStation Plus at one point.
What?
I think.
Chris, have you heard the other rumour that might be why it was delayed?
No, I have not.
There was another rumour going around that after people were a bit negative to the Batman Arkham VR, there was rumours saying that they were going to include it within the collection, for PS4.
Oh,
Okay.
So
okay.
it's been delayed until the release of PlayStation VR.
But I mean, that's still
That
only in
makes sense.
October. But that's still only in October. I mean, you'd think they'd put another release date on it then. Like, indefinitely makes me think we're not going to get this for a year.
The thing you got to remember is, has Sony actually said the actual day the PlayStation VR is coming out, or is it just the month?
But they've said the date, haven't they?
I thought it was just the month.
I don't know.
Because if they haven't said the date, then they can't actually say it's a PlayStation VR game out on this day.
Yeah.
December 2016.
That's a
No,
placeholder.
October 13th.
Yeah, I know
It's
exactly.
October 13th.
Okay.
So they have set a date.
Right, oh. Maybe not then. I was just thinking that it's plausible, but...
Well,
I
I know
just
when
think-
this trilogy will be coming out. December 2016.
I think the game looks bad.
Speaking of trilogies, recently announced, we've just seen that the BioShock collection is actually a thing. It's been rumored for a very long time. There's been a lot of leaks to do with the rumored BioShock collection coming out, and it will be. It's coming out mid-September, I think 13th or 14th was the date. Includes BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite with all the single-player DLC. There's no multiplayer in it, but all the single-player DLC from the 3 games.
That makes sense though.
That actually looks really good. I saw the trailer for it. It looks, it looks pretty. It looks up-res. It looks nice. The fact that they've added in all the DLC, like, I never got to play the Minerva's Den DLC for BioShock 2, which is apparently better than the actual game. So,
As somebody who
I'm looking
owns
forward to
all of those games, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in BioShock in general.
okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I
It
played
doesn't
the original
really interest
BioShock
me.
years back. I played the original BioShock years back, same with BioShock 2.
I think I only got like an hour or
played-
so in, and I was like,
Yeah. No, I think they're amazing games, so I'm looking forward to when the
I was
collection comes out.
interested in Infinite, but then I stopped playing a while ago, and then I just never went back to it, and I just completely forgot it was a game.
Yeah. I will. Seeing as you feel that way, I guess we know who's gonna review it. Wink, wink, David.
Me.
Wink, wink, David.
I'm not gonna review it.
Wink, wink, David.
Yeah.
He doesn't mean you're gonna review it. He means that he's going to review it. God fucking
I don't
damn it.
recognize anything unless it's in an email form.
Okay. Alright, yeah. Alright, that sounds about right. Fuck, man. Do we have anything else on news?
Yeah, I've got one other thing that I just read.
Alright.
So basically, there's been a lot of comments made to Square Enix on their Twitter account and their official forums over whether Rise of the Tomb Raider is actually coming out still on PS4.
Okay.
Since we didn't hear anything about E3, a lot of people have been saying, is it cancelled? So a couple of people got into Square Enix to ask if it was officially cancelled, and apparently it is still slated for holiday 2016. So,
Yeah, which is what they said.
yeah, so they said that, but they still haven't given a date. So most
Yeah.
people are thinking that it's going to be second half of November to first half of December, since they also stated about a year ago that it was going to be no less than a year.
Well, yeah, they
this
got
makes
a year
sense, though.
exclusive.
Yeah.
This makes sense
But
though,
no,
because if you're
just-
selling it in the holiday season, like you're selling it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it was just the rumor going around that it may have been cancelled because of its lack of showing at E3.
Well, no,
But
I really doubt it.
They won't be
like,
able
there's
to
no
show
point in
it.
showing a game that already came out, you know?
yeah, but legally
Yeah.
speaking, they can't show it.
They can't? Oh, that's
They've
right.
got an exclusive deal with Microsoft. They can't show anything until
They
that
can't
deal
show
runs
it at
out.
all.
They
Yeah.
can't even show it, yeah.
Yeah,
And it won't even get announced. What'll happen is they will announce
They'll
the
just release
Xbox
it.
One Collector's Edition, the Ultimate Edition, or whatever the hell they want to call it. That'll
Oh, hey,
include all the
PS4
DLC. And then at the last minute, it'll say, and it's also on the PS4.
Yeah.
So they'll
Yeah.
they'll get the version with all the DLC.
See, this is
Yeah,
why
no.
it's so good to be a person who has PC and consoles, because it's like, I could just go get it on PC if I don't want an Xbox One.
Yeah.
I was
didn't
actually
think
shocked.
of the,
It was a really
marketing
good game.
exclusivity, though.
I haven't even bought it yet. I still haven't finished the first game, the first remake or whatever you want to call it, reboot.
The first one was alright. I've been waiting for the PS4.
Thought it was
version
fine,
of the
yeah.
PS4. But I mean, last year I remember like when it came out on Xbox One, a lot of bigger sites were talking about it as one of their Game of the Year nominees. Like, they were saying it was that good, so.
But that's really rough to have about a year timed exclusive because like a year's a lot of time for video games.
Yeah. I mean, I just found it really interesting the fact that IGN, which I follow quite regularly, you know, a lot of people like to compare Tomb Raider and Uncharted, and you know they're all subjective reviews. But IGN gave Uncharted 4 a 9 out of 10, and then I think they gave Rise of the Tomb Raider like a 9.3, 9.4. So
Really?
they actually think they think Tomb Raider is the better game. You know, according to their reviews.
I mean,
now.
like the thing is, like there's so many things to take into account when you're rating a game. I personally don't like IGN. I don't have anything against the people that work there. I just personally don't like to look at any of the stuff there. But like, there's so many. I don't even like. Do you know if the same person reviewed both games?
And that's what I say. It's very subjective.
How does somebody feel when they want to like score a game? Like, how do they score it? You know, there's a lot of things to it. You know.
I mean,
Yeah,
I will
no,
say,
I mean,
there's a couple of things that I don't like about IGN. There is a couple of staff members that I don't like, and I mean, I've had some tweets with some of them, and some of them are proper dicks.
Okay, yeah, that probably makes sense.
And for me, Tomb Raider, I thought the reboot and then this one, I do think they're better than the Uncharted games.
See,
I
I'm
don't know, I
really
prefer
curious to
Uncharted.
play the new Tomb Raider because I absolutely adored Uncharted 4. So I'm
But the
curious
thing
to
is,
see
like, they're not that similar because, like, Uncharted is a linear story experience where Tomb Raider is supposed to be some kind of like faux open world collective resources kind of like game. You know, they're kind of different. Like, I see, like, there are puzzles, but like the puzzles are built differently in both games because both games play differently. It's
we'll find out on
like
December 8th.
it's like comparing
Tomb Raider
it's like comparing Soldier of Fortune to like Grid, you know?
Yeah.
Like you don't do that. It's not that far apart from gameplay, but like it's far enough where you shouldn't really compare.
I agree. I liked one game, I didn't like the other, so there must be something different in it.
Shut up. Anyway,
You got him to shut up?
if there is no more news, I'm assuming there's no more news.
I mean, I might get a haircut. I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, do we have anything else to say that is not hateful in any kind of way?
Buy an Eagle box.
Okay.
Follow me on Twitter at #HashBrownAddict.
And call him
Well,
gay.
if we're doing
Just spamming him. Gay.
anyway, that's very immature of you, but all right. I mean, if we're doing Twitter handles, and damn, follow me at Mr. Chief at MISTURCHEEF.
I don't even know what man is. I think it's Blur DC.
#HashBrownAddict is spelled #hashbrown and then addict.
Because he loves his hash browns.
I actually
Sure.
don't eat them that often.
All right. Anyway, do we want to wrap this up, or do we just want to keep talking bullshit?
Not a big fan. I prefer donuts.
Donuts?
Anyway, thank you for joining the One Up Gaming Podcast, episode 160. I'm Chris. I'm joined by David and George
Why am I last
Cameron.
now?
and Cameron.
Not the MP.
And Jesus.
Multiplayer?
So before we go, we'd just like to say please visit our website, oneupgaming.co.uk.
love just the conversations where they just get a little too awkward. There's like a silence, and then it's like, all right, let's talk about the business. All right.
We have a Patreon at patreon.com/OUG. We have official t-shirts and mugs at bluecyborg.com. Just search One Up Gaming. We have
They're nice
Amazon
shirts.
links on the
I
website.
got the name of his website. One Up Game. Eh?
I'm trying to listen to you two in the background. We've got Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Just search One Up Gaming. Tweet us at OEG Official. Email us at contact@oneupgaming.co.uk. And find us on iTunes. Please rate us 5 stars. Give us positive feedback. We need egos rubbed.
I don't need anything.
You need what rubbed?
I call it my ego.
Ugh.
It just hangs down normally.
Okay,
Please
fucking hell,
rub it.
it's the end of the podcast. Goodbye.
Thank you all. See you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
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 Hey guys, Justin here. I just wanted to say that I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you a lot. Yes, you in particular. In that way. And I wanted to say, I think you're great. I've always said that about you. And I was wondering, if you think we're great, if you could give us a quick rating on iTunes, we'd really appreciate it. It would really, really help us out in that, podcasty sort of way. And if you're feeling particularly festive, perhaps even a little saucy, maybe stop by our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/OUG and see if you can't slip a few bucks our way. After all, every little penny or whatever space money they use in Europe helps out the show. Thanks for listening. OUG Gaming will always be free, but with your support, we can always move forward and always be better.